I first got this idea for Rexius Nutrition when I was in college, actually. I got the opportunity to work at a GNC store back in Norfolk, Nebraska, and had some great franchisors there that kind of took me under their wing, and I got to work with some of the guys who were who eventually became the owners of Complete Nutrition as well. I had a vision for what I wanted, and so I made this business plan in college. After 3 different classes I presented this business plan into, I think the highest grade I got was a C-. I'm not sure. So needless to say, I couldn't get funding to start the business. But it was something I was very passionate about. And, I decided that since I couldn't get funding, I'll go out and get a job. So I worked in the chemical industry for about 6.5 years. And finally, I was 29, and I just, I was in a position where as a dad and as a consumer, I really wanted what my vision was for my business plan. I wanted a place where I could go buy products at internet prices, but not wait for it. Not wait for it to get shipped. I wanted to talk to somebody who actually used it versus somebody who wrote a blog that was probably paid to write it. And so I finally said I was just young enough and just crazy enough to actually do this and cut my salary by 80%, which is what I did, and sell everything I own. Literally, I sold so many things on eBay and Craigslist, my kids thought they were next. I moved back down here and figured if I could do it here in the home base of a couple other competitive companies and win, I could do it anywhere.
What really made me feel comfortable with getting into Rexius Nutrition and buying in with Tim was a lot of it just Tim himself. I really believe in Tim and what he stands for, and like I said, with us being such a family-owned and operated company, I've got 2 kids myself, Tim's got 5, it's one of those things that we totally understand each other and are there for each other.
The one thing that I know coming from retail stores, both Complete Nutrition and GNC, is we were always taught margins and sales numbers, and that's pretty much it. So everybody that walked in the door, it was how big of a ticket can I get and how good of a margin can I get? Whereas here it was, what do you need? What do you need? What's gonna help you reach your goal? And it's not so much about how many products we can shove down your throat, it's what products are gonna get you to where you wanna be, and if you wanna try something else, here's a sample. If you wanna come back and get it, great. If you don't, not a big deal.
Our first franchisee is fantastic. They opened up over 4 years ago. Was a concrete worker by trade. Obviously, never done any books or anything, and just a different mentality. And then we've had guys who were car salesmen. We've had ones that had been graduated with bachelor's degrees. It didn't matter what we were coming in and showing them how to run this business, how to run as a businessman, and also about the supplements themselves. And so the franchise is a turnkey operation. So we're going to show you how to do everything. How to stock the stores, how to run the accounting systems, payroll. Brittany will actually show you how to do the bookkeeping. So these are things that a lot of times they just say, oh, go hire an accountant. Well, if you're running a business and you really want to run a business successful, you got to you got to nickel and dime the business. You got to keep your costs low. And if you can learn how to do all that stuff yourself and learn from us without us charging you any extra to do it, and it's a very advantageous position to be in.
To start the franchise, it is first just your want to be able to be a part of the company and the family and all that kind of stuff. You want to have control of what your day-to-day looks like and your paycheck and everything else. And then you get to start picking where you want to be, and if you want to be back in your hometown, maybe you left for school and you want to go back home, be around your family, you get to do that. So you get to tell us where you want to be instead of us telling you where you have to go.
There's a lot of franchisees and a lot of franchise systems that you'll see that people are going to be told that you have to use this banker and you have to go this direction and you have to spend this amount of marketing and all of that. All we do is say, listen, if you have a connection with a bank, great. If you want to market this way, great. We're going to tell you what works for us. We're going to give you the best examples of what works for us, but it's up to you to how you want to go about running your business.
We're going to help you every step of the way from your immediate interest until the day that you open, and we will probably all be there for you the day that you open, as well as your ribbon cuttings and everything else too. So we're never going to leave your side when you start with us.
After I first started working for Tim Rexius in Norfolk in 2012, he kind of told me, he's like, hey, you don't necessarily have to go back to college. He's like, I'll teach you everything you need to know as far as nutrition, supplements, and the big thing too, business. So I'm very thankful that I listened to him. For one thing, saved thousands of dollars, but I was probably able to learn more from Tim Rexius than going back to college, and nothing against college. It just, I was fortunate enough to be able to be under such good guidance as Tim Rexius.
The mission here is to build customers for a lifetime, because repeat business in this business is what is going to make you successful. There's a lot of people that make the money for 1 or 2 years and then they go bankrupt. What's better is a very good growth plan with a high customer retention rate over 10, 20, 30 years in a business you started that you can pass down to your kids, and you're happy to do so with customers who've now shown their kids where to go buy it and their grandkids where to go buy it, and that's what we're trying to build, is customers for a lifetime.
I would say this is a huge deal when it comes to this franchise model and how the royalties are structured. Is you can really tell that Tim Rexius and the entire corporate team, all the investors, care about the success of the individual franchises even more than their own success. And just an example of that would just be there's no like flat fees when it comes to a monthly royalty fee. It's a straight percentage. So if we sell $0, we pay $0 in royalties. Whereas I know a lot of our competitors would have like an advertising royalty that was a flat fee. They'd have, a ton of different royalties tacked on and fees that we don't have. And so that's a huge perk that I can't possibly overstate enough.
One thing that's really cool with somebody that's, very motivated and sees the bigger picture is after you maybe get your first franchise open, you start seeing the success from there, and they're able to maybe communicate and to maybe build a second, third, who knows how many. The franchise fee then goes down significantly.
The big reason why a lot of my franchisees are so successful right now, you take Brett Clausen and Jamie Stark out in Fremont. They started their first store on April 13th of 2016 down in Fremont. Brett used to work for me for years, just could never get financing. And man, I tell you, they talked to every bank from here to Timbuktu, and they finally got financing for Fremont. And that was in April. And by August, they opened up their second store in Maryville, Missouri. A month later, they bought out the store in Columbus. 3 months after that, they partnered up with one of their employees who they've turned into a business owner. So they're passing it on, which is even more awesome. They partnered up with him and helped him get his first store in Lincoln, which I sold to them just because we're expanding so much. And these guys are in their mid-20s and they own 4 stores. How many companies can you say you can do that unless you're a trust fund baby?
A really big thing is changing your mindset from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, because being an employee, you work, get paid, work, get paid, work, get paid. And kind of our philosophy is, you keep all the money inside the business to help it expand and then reap the rewards later. So if you grow big enough, having enough leverage and having enough team members, then you can kind of do your own thing later on. And even though it's their passion, maybe you can have a little bit more time for yourself. So being an entrepreneur, it's like work, get paid. Work, get paid. But eventually, if you grow large enough and you have enough leverage and you have a good enough system in place, which Rexius Nutrition does, it can actually flip. So it'll go work, get paid, get paid, work, get paid. So it actually will flip over time. So that, just having that mindset and be able to embrace that calculated risk, with being an entrepreneur compared to being an employee, is a drastic mindset change. But once you embrace the risk and you're not addicted to the paycheck and understand the vision of growing large enough that you can have enough leverage, that's what we have the opportunity with Rexius Nutrition.
A lot of times these questions these guys have isn't just about me helping their staff, but it's like, hey, I'm having trouble with my books. I got behind and I didn't do my accounting for a couple weeks, didn't do my credit card deposits. And if you guys ever done accounting, it's a pain. If you had 400 customers come through and you got to match all that up, that can be quite cumbersome. Well, they also know that that's her field, because that's who I ask when I have questions, and she'll come in there and do what would be 3 weeks of work for them in about an hour. And so they like the tag team effect of they always say mom and dad coming out to help fix things, and that's what we do. It's the constant ongoing training.
We don't just let you open and then send you on your way and only check up on you when you're not doing something right. We're out there all the time, encouraging, making sure that you guys are having fun, turn it into the passion, and just getting to work in the stores at the franchises and just having a lot of fun with them and doing samplings and going to the gyms in the different towns that they're at and just making sure that we have a presence there.
So I would say probably my biggest thing that I want to portray to anybody that's thinking about doing a Rexius Nutrition store would be become part of the family.
We're going to give you every single number that we have. We're not going to lie to you about prices. We're not going to upcharge you on things. You just get exactly what we get, and we want you to grow as much as you can with our help, hopefully.
I have a lot of 20-something kids. I call them kids because I'm a lot older than they are. They were in grade school when I was in college. But, you know, the reason that they're succeeding so much is, especially in their generation, is that if you know how to work hard, the sky's the limit right now. You will rise to the top so much faster than our parents got to, or even I got to, because if you have work ethic, that's unique. If you know how to put the hustle down and it's just work, that's all it is. In this business, all it is salesmanship. Shane always says it all the time. It's just go out and work, shake hands, be nice. That is literally the end of this business. We have the pricing in place. You're not going to find it cheaper online. Why would you buy it anywhere else? We'll sample it for free. Or who else is going to do that? Other stores won't even sample to you because they're afraid you're going to go find it online cheaper, so they just don't try to buy it to you. I'm not afraid about that. So I'm going to give you free samples so you already know what you're getting. You already know what it tastes like. You already know you like it. You know it's not going to find cheaper on the internet. So what's the only thing that's keeping people from coming in out the door? Guy behind the counter. If he's got a friendly smile and a good handshake and knows a little something, this business is extremely successful. All you have to do is get out and meet people and have a little hustle, and the sky's the limit.